Lady Charmaine, and my guest today is an NAACP Image Award-winning actress who has starred opposite of some of our favorite leading men. She has co-starred in movies like Ray, The Last King of Scotland for Colored Girls, and the Christmas release of Django Unchained, starring Jamie Foxx. And she's here today to talk about her new hit show, ABC Scandal, the second season. Help me welcome Miss Kerry Washington to the show. How you doing, Kerry?
I'm great. How are you?
I am so good and so glad to have you on the show. Excited because we love Scandal in the Bassett household.
Oh, thank you. You know, we're just so indebted, so grateful to the fans of the show because we love making the show. And so every time I meet somebody or talk to somebody who enjoys watching, I just say thank you so much for watching, because the only reason we get to have another season is because you guys tune in. So the longer we get to make this show for you, the happier we're going to be.
And I really like the scandals in the show. And for those who have not seen the show, because we want to get everyone to watch the show, Kerry, tell us about the show and the character that you play.
Well, I play a woman named Olivia Pope, who is a crisis manager, which means that people come to Pope & Associates, my firm, very powerful people, on the absolute worst day of their lives. And they say, fix it, and that is what we do. We work with people in politics and entertainment and big business, and, you know, we handle their scandal. And I think it's such a great concept because I think we're kind of overwhelmed with scandal now in our society. You know, every time you turn on the TV or go on the internet, you hear about somebody in entertainment or sports or politics or big business who's facing a scandal. And what the show does is it allows you kind of a peek behind the curtain into how is this dealt with? Who decides the story that actually hits the paper? Who figures this out with the justice system? Who's talking to the cops to try to get this person out the back door so no paparazzi gets any pics? All that stuff, you know? And the show's also complicated by the fact that my character, Olivia, used to work for the White House and has a slightly inappropriate relationship with the President of the United States.
And the one thing I thought that was really interesting, too, because we know that this is age old, you know what I mean? A president and an African-American woman, because, you know, Jefferson and Sally Hemings. How has the public received that? I was always curious to see the president of the United States of America, who's Caucasian, who had a inappropriate relationship with one of his workers and who was African-American. How has that been received with the public?
You know, it's interesting. It obviously does. Some people do have that thought, you know, and I think it's always fascinating to listen to the arguments back and forth about that, because we obviously live in a different world. You know, it's for me, it's interesting to have done a film like Django Unchained over the summer where, you know, that'll come out at Christmas, and I am playing a slave. You know, that's a film that took place in the pre-Civil War South, and that character is a woman who literally was thought of as someone's property. She's considered 3/5 of a person in the Constitution. She has no freedom and liberty. She is a strong woman, but in a different way, in a different time. She's at the opposite end of the spectrum in terms of socioeconomics, education, access, opportunity than somebody like Olivia Pope. And so, you know, Olivia Pope is a woman who is, you know, she works for herself. She owns property. She's free. She's educated, she's powerful, she's empowered. And so this is a different situation. She's not a slave who doesn't have a voice in the relationship. She's a woman who fell in love, and he's a man who fell in love, and they're two adults trying to navigate a situation. She doesn't belong to anyone. And I think it brings up parallels. Obviously, it brings up parallels for people, but there are also really important distinctions. And I think it's a useful, fascinating conversation.
And the one thing I like about the character of Olivia Pope, you play her so well. Were you handpicked for the role, or did you have to audition for it?
No, I had to audition for it because Shonda Rhimes and I had never met before. And, you know, this character, one of the things I love about her, and it's one of the things that often comes out in this conversation about the whole Sally Hemings thing, is we've never seen a woman like this in a one-hour drama on network television. You know, we've never seen a woman of color who is so smart, so powerful, so such a voice. You know, the president, unlike somebody like Sally Hemings, the president is in office because Olivia Pope got him there. You know, she was in charge of his campaign as opposed to, you know, in some ways he worked for her. And And that is such an interesting dynamic, to see a woman who's so beautifully dressed and empowered and in charge, but yet she's not kind of this cold, powerful woman. She also has real human vulnerabilities. And that's what I thought was so special about the character, that to me, she is a real modern woman, somebody who in some areas has got it all figured out and in other areas doesn't. And I think a lot of us relate to that. It feels very real and very human to me.
Now, speaking of your wardrobe, I'm glad you said that. Your trench coats, whoever dresses you on that show, it makes every woman want to go out and Google what you wore on Thursday night. So who is the stylist for the show?
Well, we have a costume designer. Her name is Lynn Paolo, and she's a brilliant costume designer who's worked in film and television for many years. And she dresses everybody on the show. And she and I work very hard on Olivia's wardrobe because, to me, I wanted her to be really powerful. I wanted her to rock a power suit. But we also realized that in this day and age, it used to be to dress powerfully as a woman, you kind of had to dress in a men's suit. And we live in a world now, kind of the new wave of feminism, where to be a strong, powerful woman, you don't have to leave being a woman at the door. You can bring your femininity in the door and still be a strong woman. So the suits, are very tailored, very structured, very powerful, but they're also feminine. And also we wanted to work with a palette of kind of softer colors because I realized that most of the time Olivia is telling people things that they don't want to hear. She's pretty tough. And she doesn't hold back. She's very honest with her clients, and she has to deliver difficult news a lot of the time, and she's in charge. So I wanted the clothes to make people feel a little more comforted around her, to feel like even though I'm saying things you don't want to hear, I want you to trust me and be comfortable. So the softer colors, the softer palette really helps with that, I think.
I think your whole idea really works because even when you wear certain outfits, my husband always say, you look good in that. So even when you have a trench coat on, you look good in that. So whatever you have on, he'll say, you look good in that. I'm like, oh, thank you. I think so too.
Oh, that's great.
And speaking of the President of the United States, in 2009, you were appointed by President Barack Obama to the President's Committee of Arts and Humanities. Tell us about that wonderful appointment that you received.
The committee is an advisory committee to the White House, and we advise the White House on issues of arts and humanities. And we have lots of programs, from Film Forward, which is a film diplomacy program, to a program we're really excited about that just got initiated this year called Turnaround Arts, which is about using arts and education in schools to help uplift schools that are really challenged. And so all over the country. So, we really have had a lot of exciting opportunities and challenges and initiatives, and it's a thrill and an honor to be working with this administration.
That's amazing. Isn't that amazing? I believe that how God work out. You advise the president on a television show and then look in the natural. You're doing the same thing too. So congratulations to that. And I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today and talking about one of my favorite shows on television, Kerry. It's really a blessing to have you on the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. We really appreciate it. And, we do love to watch the show with our fans. You can tune in when the show is on. Whatever cast members are not working, we'll be on Twitter. You can use the hashtag #AskScandal every Thursday, 10/9 Central. We are on there hanging out with you guys, answering questions and giving behind-the-scenes information about the show. And I'm at Kerry Washington on Twitter. So, we just love to show our love to the fans because we really, really, truly so appreciate you tuning in.
You are so welcome. And again, thank you so much, Kerry, and I look forward to having you back on the show.
Anytime. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.